Hello everyone and welcome to our Utopia. My name is Clay and I am here on behalf of our group to show you how the Utopia we have created is an improvement on our current reality and is a desirable place to live and participate in for all people. Before we get started, we have a few important guiding details that we based our Utopia on to mention. Our assumption for this assignment was that human nature has not been altered in this society. If human nature were to be altered, this assignment would become redundant, as we could conjure any reality we desire that does not have any of the consequences that exist in our current reality, which would eliminate the critical thinking that this assignment was meant to produce. While we believe that there is no perfect way to establish a society where human nature is suppressed and our affinity for right actions has been overwritten by the ability to do wrong, we structured our utopia off of this important detail in order to find solutions to the problems that we see in our current society and fix them. That being said, our ideas were as follows. First, we believe that the targeted forms of behaviorism will radically alter how society functions. Behaviorism is the characteristic of animals and humans to find extrinsic or outside motivation to do something. Think of doing your chores when you were younger. If you completed them, you were most likely given an allowance or some other reward for doing them. This motivation is how humans will be persuaded to act appropriately in our society. Second, extrinsic motivation can and should be manufactured through reward systems. These rewards should be a part of many aspects of life to enhance the individual's life and continually renew their extrinsic motivation. Third, extrinsic motivation ultimately drives people's desires and can be used to create strong community bonds. Since human nature has not changed, we believe that the extrinsic motivation obtained through reward systems can be used to build strong relationships in communities. This will take time, but these bonds, once created, will form lasting, meaningful friendships that families will learn to rely on. Fourth, strong community bonds will help develop intrinsic motivation. Once a community has developed strong connections throughout their zone, they will begin to value their relationships more than the rewards that they gain through their interactions. And lastly, intrinsic motivation is important for encouraging community expansion and making further societal advancements. Intrinsic motivation will be increasingly important in pushing communities to work together, raise their young, and continue to grow and expand in size and technology. The society we envisioned functions as a socialist system with roots in capitalism. We found that the main downfall of socialist systems was their tendency to conglomerate every aspect of the state, which resulted in massive states attempting to provide for an extremely large amount of people. To combat this, we propose that the size of communities be reduced significantly and will continue to cleave off of each other as they constantly expand. We also noted that certain forms of capitalism were needed to ensure that enticing motivation exists for individuals to be involved in and contribute to their community. With all of this in mind, we acknowledge that there is no one true perfect form of society. We were introduced to this idea in the beginning of the semester through a conversation Max Beerbohm wrote. So this is Utopia, is it? Well, I beg your pardon. I thought it was hell. In order to achieve the closest form to perfection, our Utopia is going to need to be open to reform as our society grows in size. The quote at the bottom of the slide shows that in order to create a perfect society, the human race should continue to grow in number, which we believe is important in achieving this perfection in the first place. While the Earth is only capable of maintaining a determined number, the human race should increase without end. This should be a necessary consequence of a perfect government and education. But what does this look like? So let's define the government for our society. The society is split into communities with each community having around 1,000 people in them. The communities are similar to tribes in that they elect a leader to direct their community and municipal efforts. This is a very democratic process. The other candidates who did not win the election band together to form the municipality for their tribe, becoming an advisory council for the community leader. Along with the community leader, they handle tasks like ensuring their community is united and keeping with the set political goals, social welfare for their community and have a duty to provide work for those who need it, and providing aid for other communities in need. Governor Generals will also be employed. They will have a similar role that Governor Generals have in our current society. They will hold community leaders accountable to their political platform, act as a contingency plan for misuse of political governing power, and be the overall overseers for the distribution of credit. Politics in this society is conducted through the community leader and his panel of advisors. The community leaders will be elected annually and may not serve more than one term consecutively. This is done to remove the complacency that permeates our current political structure and incentivizes our potential leaders to respect one another, as they will not have long periods of safety in office. Like Winstanley, we believe that the elders who have retired from the workforce are best fit to advise the community leader. Their life experience is essential in preserving what worked and what didn't work for past leaders. However, this does not mean that a younger member of the community couldn't be a part of the advisory council. However, they must show aptitude and wisdom that surpasses that of the other elders. When talking about the workforce in our utopia, it is important to note that every profession is paid the same entry wage no matter what position a person holds. Everyone must work to get this guaranteed salary, but each profession will earn bonuses based on its relativity to three categories. Its human care, which means how closely the profession deals with the care of fellow humans, its accessibility, or how difficult it is to obtain education for, and its labor intensiveness, or how physically demanding the job is. The guaranteed wage that everyone receives, or minimum wage, is more than enough to support a household of 5, so there will be less concern about certain jobs not having access to the same benefits. And this is the most important feature of our society. At the end of the year, all credit accumulated summing higher than 1 month of minimum wage earnings will be reset, with 50% of that being distributed equally among all newborn and existing children's saving accounts, which we will talk about on the next slide, and the other 50% of it going back into maintaining the community. Let's talk about the economy in our society. There is one single currency that is shared throughout all communities and never fluctuates in value. This is done to keep the economy consistent, as every product and service will remain at a constant value. This consistency will provide its community a sense of security and reliability that they can always count on to remain the same. This currency will also be digitally created, which allows for a consistent means of creation and distribution by the Governor-Generals to the workforce. For every child that is born in a particular year, a savings account will be created and held in the child's name by their godparents. 50% of all the excess credit that is collected from the annual reset mentioned earlier will be equally divided and placed into these accounts every year until they reach 21, which is when the account is to be given by the godparents to the child. This credit is to assist the child in purchasing or building their future home, or for paying for secondary education. And this credit doesn't reset annually and will not refresh once it's been used. This is done this way for two purposes. 1. It helps eliminate the manipulation and greed of the parents accessing the account unlawfully, and 2. It adds another reason for establishing an alloparenting system. This ensures stronger community bonds.
Education plays an important role in the advancement of society and can deepen one's connection to their community. With this in mind, we decided to keep a similar education system to the one currently in place. The main changes we are proposing are that primary school begin at the age of 9 to 10, with parents and communities being responsible for the education of children not of primary school age. Adult involvement is extremely important in children's academic learning. By applying the concepts of alloparenting, children are exposed to different cultures, teaching them the importance of diversity, and will build stronger bonds within communities. Primary education will be offered for free until a child reaches the age of 21, or primary education is finished early. Secondary education costs 1 month minimum wage plus 3 months of the specific profession's bonus wages. This does not get paid until schooling is finished and they work in the professions they studied for. The justice system's main function is to uphold the laws of the society. Due to our small population size, the laws are a lot more basic, and we have adjusted sentences to better reflect the offense conducted by the criminal. We have based this on 4 criteria. First is cruelty, which is the pain index. This includes mental, emotional, and physical pain. Second is the severity of the crime. We have broken this into 3 levels: severe, major, and minor. Thirdly is the intent. Was there intent behind this crime, or did it happen purely by chance? And lastly is the consistency. Is this offense occurring frequently? Has it happened before? Once we have taken these 4 criteria into account, sentence is issued to the criminal and they are placed in one of 3 levels of offense. The first level is minor offenses. These are punished through community service or labor work. What this does is it betters the offenders by teaching discipline and offering them second chances. It also benefits companies by providing them with free labor. If apprenticeships and internships are entered into during sentence, these positions are offered back to the individual once their sentence is served. Second are major crimes, which are punished with jail time. Third, severe crimes. These are the highest offense and are considered unredeemable. There are only 3 of these, which are pedophilia, rape, and murder. These criminals are branded to label their transgression and are sent into exile. Once a sentence is given, that time must be served to the end. There are no reductions. Head Start credit is given for every year a person goes without committing a crime. This credit additively compounds each year and is continually accumulating as long as offenses are avoided. This adds incentive to follow the law and abide by the rules. Current societal gender norms have serious impacts on gender inclusivity as well as dictating the acceptable roles for men and women. In our society, we wanted to ensure that equality was highly valued. Education and skill are of the highest importance, and due to the size of the communities, there is less competition or restrictiveness to the positions in one's field of work. There is no set gender role in the families. The decision of the primary caregiver is decided within the home, and if both parents wish to enter the workforce, alloparenting allows them to do so. In order to promote healthy living, 1 hour of daily physical activity will be mandatory for each member of the community. There are multiple ways to achieve this. Some are running, hiking, yoga, weight training, and sporting leagues. If there is medical issues or your job is labor intensive, you can be exempt from the mandatory physical activity. In our utopian society, religion plays a unifying role and will be broken down to become a modified version of circles of care, which describe the natural obligations that people should have to their families and others. Due to the loving and caring nature of this system, a great sense of unity is created in the community. There are 2 main circles of care. The individual's first obligation is to the primary circle, which can be distinguished as caring for. It is in this circle that familial bonds are deepened and strengthened. The next is the secondary circle. This is caring about others outside the family and community. Circles of care create a foundation of society and comfort for the community, allowing members to feel at ease, knowing that they are safe, loved, and valued by each other. It is inevitable that there will be class distinctions economically, but due to the annual resetting of credit, fair credit earnings, and excess wages going back into the community at the end of the year, little turmoil will be caused because of this. Due to an increase in neighborly relations, no race distinctions will occur. Alloparenting emphasizes the importance of all cultures being equally viable. Due to our emphasis on community relations, we believe marriage is important because it brings together individuals and families and strengthens those community bonds. Individuals are free to marry whomever they choose, as long as both parties agree to the union and love is true and compassionate. Once married, these individuals form their own primary circles of care alongside both partners' immediate families. This society was created with everyone in mind. We believe that people from all walks of our current reality will find a place in this society and be happy to exist here. Men and women are of equal status, and feelings of safety and security allow members to focus on enjoying all that life has to offer. Alloparenting benefits each new generation, garnering renewed respect for cultural diversity and differences in ability. All able-bodied individuals are easily able to support their families due to generous credit. Accommodations are available for those with physical impairments. And to ease the burdens on families and provide them with the best possible care, those with cognitive disabilities will be cared for by healthcare workers. The healthcare workers are paid from the individual's credit account, which was acquired at birth.